Hello, followers of Australia Alidu. Welcome to this week's Immigration Hour. Like every Wednesday, we have with us Saurabh Smart, Global Vision Migration. So, without any further ado, let's just quickly welcome Saurabh. Hi, Saurabh. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking. Yes, and we are back again, like every Wednesday, to discuss immigration, visas, and good stories, some positive news with a lot of our friends. All our viewers are considered our friends actually. So we happy to share all that information with them, and a lot of times we get to learn a lot from them as well because they are actually always up and ready with all the new information as well. And yeah, so that's exactly so today we'll be talking about a lot of different things. We will also talk about how can you bring your family to Australia. We will talk about some visitor visas, some subsequent visa applications as well, how you can bring your partner. And we can see the visitor visas are currently being granted as well from overseas too. So we'll talk about those visas as well. And then if you have any doubts or any questions about in regards to any state nomination, etc., you can also put your questions in. Try to put your questions as soon as possible, because what we have seen is in the last few sessions, by the time we almost about to end the session, because the session ends in 40 minutes at 8:45, and then by the time there are some questions that are unanswered, so we will try our best to answer as much questions as possible. And if you do have any doubts or anything, please put in your question, etc. Maybe, and also do share this with your friends and family, even especially for people who are overseas actually, because we will be talking about how you can bring your family member to Australia. And there are some PR options available for overseas people as well. As you know, the topic today is PR pathway. So we will be talking about PR pathway as an IT person, as an engineer, as a accountant, as a trade occupation. So we'll talk about all those options as well, and we'll more than happy to answer any questions, etc. in the meanwhile as well. And also what I've also seen nowadays. So we will talk about those student visa issues as well. Currently, I've received number of inquiries from a lot of students who are currently in Australia regarding their visa cancellation. So I will also put a bit of light on that as well, and how you can avoid that from happening.
Yeah. So thank you so much for the brief introduction of what are we going to cover today. That sounds like a lot, and positively, it sounds really helpful as well. So before we get into the session, Sarah, why don't you share some positive news
Hmm.
that you got? I heard there are so many PR grants from Global Vision Migration. So what's
Yes.
happening? What are the stats like?
Yes. So since last Wednesday, I think last yesterday itself, we received around three permanent residency grants. There was two software engineers, one ICT security specialist, and this morning we received one more permanent residency grant as well. Today we received, and so far we have received, since last Wednesday, around I think 7 to 8 408 visas. The people that call it COVID visas. So we have
Yeah.
received around 7 to 8 visas have been granted. Few ACS assessments have been done, including the experience has been successfully assessed. Even offshore 485 visas currently being granted as well. And the student visas currently are also being starting to, we can see some grants coming through from overseas as well as from Australia itself. Visitor visas, yes, so we have received around 3 to 4 visitor visas grant from India itself, especially our lovely Australia Ludu followers, family members, and their friends actually, who will be joining them soon to come to Australia. Also, we received a visa grant from South America as well, for one of our South American clients, our Vietnamese clients as well. So yes, we got a mixed bag actually. So PRs are coming for pretty much every nationality, I would say.
Yeah.
PR visas and everything. So yeah, especially today itself, we received um, around 5 to 6 grants. One of them was permanent residency. So our PR is actually from someone from South Africa, and the 408 visas were actually from someone from Indonesia, and then student visa was actually from Vietnam. Visitor visa was from South American client, and then there was one more. What's it called? I forgot this last one. So yeah, so it's a mixed batch. I'm happy to see a lot of different nationalities trusting us with their visa applications, and they're getting grants and everything, which is good. And all of our viewers, you should better go and check the reviews that our clients leave for us. Ashu probably would have. She was talking to me about those reviews. How
Yeah.
detailed reviews. Sometimes our clients leave it for us. Like some of them are actually like a whole one page, A4 size page full of big review.
Yeah,
So
they actually take out the time, and nobody is, even though how much ever we like a service, when someone asks you to write a good Google review, you would be like, okay, very good. That's what you would
mm,
write generally. But then, if you actually look at the impact that Saurabh has created on these people's life, they have explained and elaborated it enough in such a way how happy they are with his services and how happy they are that they are a citizen today or a permanent resident today or their student visa got granted. Pick everything or anything, it's all there. So that's such
exactly.
a great thing, people taking out efforts. That means they must have been really satisfied with the way your consultation was with them, of course, right? And not only, I think, not only from Melbourne, even from Canberra as well, there are so many. I guess your Canberra is set up. Canberra office is only set up about a year ago, right?
No, it was not even a year ago. It was almost like 6 months ago.
Yeah, and
And
there are already so many reviews for
so we are
Canberra.
like I think more than 110 plus, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then, yeah, so it's just, people who would like to leave review, we don't push them. If
yeah,
anyone would like to leave us a feedback, they do it themselves. And yeah, so yeah, so that's exactly, I want to share good news with everyone because it actually motivates a lot of our viewers as well. That, some people are maybe feeling, down or hopeless that there's no PR option, etc. There's always options available. It's just that people don't look in the right direction.
right. So for those of you who are actually looking for that direction, you should all be there on this Friday from 3 to 5 at the seminar.
It's a
Saurabh is,
next Friday.
yeah, I'm sorry, next Friday on 10th of June. Uh, he's conducting a seminar at his office in Collins Street. There is a link in the description, and you can just click on the link and register for free. And then you can attend the seminar and also look at the direction for your PR pathway. And you can also discuss what you've done before and how what is your aim like here, so that he would suggest you what's the best way to go about it. I
Exactly.
hope all of you register as soon as possible. We'll see you all there. Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, so this, next Friday, that's 10th of June, between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. So I will be running a seminar on PR pathways and all that migration related information will be there. I will be talking about different visa subclasses such as employer sponsored visas, global talent visas, pretty much everything, because you don't know, some of the international students who are already here in Australia, they might be eligible for those visas which they are not aware of. So
Yeah.
my job is to make sure they are notified, they are well informed, so they can make an informed decision. I don't want people to be, sitting in Australia 10 years on a student visa, and then that they don't have any pathways or anything available. If you are actually eligible, you should seek those options right away rather than later. So next Friday, link should be there up there for you guys. It's completely free of cost. And then I'm more than happy to see you. I will be there face to face. We'll talk, we'll discuss. So it's a 2 hour session. It's not going to go for obviously 2 hours. Going to go for like 1 hour or something. And then after the seminar, 30 minutes, 45 minutes seminar maximum. And then we'll do, one by one. You guys can come and talk to me, and then we will see, how we can assist you all in all that information, etc. So that's all about that seminar. Now let's jump into our topic for the day, and
Yeah.
then we will start
In the
comment,
comments.
talking about the comments as well.
Yeah.
So if we talk about, we said the PR pathway plan. So pretty much, say for example, how I normally do our consult is, there's only 5 ways someone can get permanent residency in Australia. You know what I mean? There's no other ways apart from this. So number one is obviously general skill migration. You can apply for 189, 190, 491, etc. 491 has a pathway to 191, which is PR. Secondly, which is an employer sponsored pathway, where your employers can sponsor you if your occupation is in the relevant list. That's subclass 186. You need to have 3 years of full-time work experience, competent English skill assessment. You can get a PR through that pathway. Number three is if you're sponsored by your family or a partner visa. You marry an Australian citizen or a permanent resident, or your family, you are a last person living and then of your family, and then the family can sponsor you as well. Parent visas, child visas, etc. Number four is, say for example, if you're a businessman, if you are an investor, you can actually, if you have investment experience, you can come to Australia and invest or buy a business in Australia, and then you can be eligible to apply for permanent residency. So that's visa subclasses 188A. So it's A, B, and C, which will lead you to permanent visa, permanent business visa, which is subclass 888. And then lastly, the only subclass that which I have a very low cap, very low numbers available for them, that is actually a refugee visa, asylum seeker. So say for example, if you do have a civil unrest, or if you are unsafe in back in your home country, then if Australia has do, if they do think that you do have grounds for asylum, then they would provide you those, the protection visa as well, and that's a permanent visa. Within the
Right.
5 ways to get PR, there's no other ways apart from that, not that I'm aware of. And yeah, and so now let's elaborate more on 189, 190, and 491. A lot of people do know these. Okay, there's 189 subclass, there's 190 and 491. But what they don't know is exactly whether they are themselves are actually eligible for it or not. Okay, so if we talk about 189, it's an independent permanent residency, as a lot of people already know. Home Affairs, federal government actually do the invitation rounds. Last time they actually started to do invitations every 4 quarters. So they're going to do 4 invitation rounds in one financial year.
Right.
But now in the next financial year, from 1st of July, the budget has increased to 16,000 number of seats for 189. And previously it was only 6,000. So that means that there's a lot of places do available for 189 visa as well. Um, your occupation must be in the MLTSSL list. That's most important, which is medium to long term list. Then only you can be eligible to apply for 189. Moving on to the next, which is 190, which is a state sponsored permanent residency. State gives you 5 points as well. The minimum points is 65. However, everyone knows that state requires higher points in order for you to get the invitation. That's a 65 points, just a cutoff. And say, for example, for 190, every state has different requirements because it's a state sponsored PR. Last week
Yeah.
we discussed about Western Australia. You know how they do have WASMOL Schedule 1, Schedule 2, and they have also have a graduate occupation list as well. So if your occupation is on those lists and you do meet those requirements, they will nominate you, and then you can become a permanent resident. It's through subclass 190. Victoria has the same option as well. You must be utilizing your STEM skills, working in those 7 target sectors. Sorry, it's 8 target sectors. They actually added the last one, creative industries, graphic designers, etc., web animators, web developers can be actually part of that industry as well. So that's another advantage that you guys have, when it comes to this Victoria State nomination. Moving on to New South Wales, different occupations, highest points. If you've been living in New South Wales for at least 3 months, you are eligible, or either you should be working in your nominated occupation. If you are working in a nominated occupation, that particular experience needs to be assessed as well. Some occupations do require 3 years of work experience, and some don't. That experience also needs to be deemed skill. That means that experience must be assessed by the relevant assessment authority. That's New South Wales. Moving up to Queensland. Queensland has a different assessment, completely different process. What they want to see, they want to see that you also have a ongoing employment opportunity, or you have a job offer available for you. Minimum points that they want you to have at least 80, but no one's getting invitation at 80 points anyway. You need to get highest possible points, like 90 plus points. need to have at least 6 months of full-time work experience anywhere in Queensland for 190, or at least 3 months in regional for 491. 491 ongoing employment is fine, and then you can be eligible. These are the eligibility criteria so far. However, they are closed. Most of the states are closed anyway. Now, if we talk about, say, South Australia, South Australia has different requirements completely, where they do require people to have, occupation centric. Say if you a particular occupation requires 6 months to 1 year of work experience, or 18 months, you satisfy those criteria, and then you'll be eligible to apply for. South Australia, I've seen that, if you do satisfy those criteria, you don't actually have to get to the highest possible points. As minimum points is fine as well. Now, talking about Canberra. Canberra is a very good territory, sorry, um, where you don't actually have to work in your own nominated occupation. You can be working in any other occupation as long as you have enough matrix points for that particular occupation. A lot of people do make mistakes in Canberra, and Canberra state nomination is, territory nomination is one of the hardest nominations, because they won't ask you for additional documentation. They would just refuse your nomination. Their refusal rate is really high. So we have to be very careful from the day one when we launch the matrix. Make sure we have the necessary documentation and information, etc. Moving on to Tasmania. Tasmania also has a very good option for 190 if you do work 6 months in their TESOL occupation list, or you have 2 years of work experience. 2 years of studies in Tasmania in your nominated occupation, or then you can be eligible for 190 for Tasmania as well. So these are the few states and territories that we discussed about, 190 occupation. Now moving on, 190, your occupation can be in MLTSSL list, can also be on the short-term skill occupation list. So that's 189 and 190. Now move on to 491. 491 has two different options: state sponsor and family sponsor. For state sponsor, your occupation can be in ROL list, regional occupation list. It can also be on ST as well. It can also be in medium to long-term list. And the family sponsored must have occupation in MLTSSL list only. With family sponsored, your first cousin, relatives, your close relatives, first cousin can sponsor you. Okay, first cousin, uncle, aunt, grandfather, etc. As long as they are within immediate relationship, the blood relationship, first cousin. So they can sponsor you as long as they are living in the designated area of Australia. Your occupation must be in the MLTSSL list. Some occupations have higher chances of getting invitation for 491 family sponsored, and some don't. So you have to be very careful. A lot of people, say for example, as an accountant, chances of you getting 491 family sponsor are very less, as well as very less for mechanical engineers as well, unfortunately, because these occupations are pro rata occupations. There's a lot of understanding that goes in there as well. So this is very important. If your occupation is MLTSSL list, you have a first cousin or a relative living in regional Australia, they can sponsor you for a 491 family sponsor. For 491 family sponsor, invitation round also happens alongside the rounds for 189. However, the number of seats have increased, so they might start to do every month invitations as well. However, we don't know yet. The minister has just sworn in today, and he might set out some directives. What I've seen is so far, with the new government, that the processing time, that they are actually processing visas a little quicker. We got we already got so many permanent residencies since the government changed. So I'm actually quite happy about it. I have no issues with that, and I believe my clients will be happy as well. Because they are getting the results. If our viewers are also getting the results, that's what's important. That's what matters to them. They don't care whether it's a liberal or labor, as long as they are getting the visa grants, permanent residencies. That's what they want.
So true. They
Yeah.
say
So
government is in our favor then, like immigration and all.
exactly. So you know what I mean. So um, those um, those things can be done as well. There's plenty of options are out there as well. So yeah, so we're talking about the 491 family sponsor, and hope they do invitation rounds every month for 189 and 491 as well. What I just want to let everyone know is that do not just wait for invitation rounds to happen. What I've seen last year is last year July invitation round happened, and the very next day, our we were like bombarded with calls. Why? Most of the people, we receive invitations, and whoever we did AOIs, we were aware when their skill assessments expire, when their PTs expire, when their NATIs expire. And then some people, who actually receive invitation themselves, they contacted us. They're like, oh, I just realized I received invitation, but my PT is expired, my NATI is expired, my skill assessment is expired. Can I lodge the visa? Do you know what I mean? So these things are very careful, very important, guys. If you think that your assessment is going to expire in 3 months, apply for a new one now. If you think your NATI is going to expire in 6 months time, and you know that you're not going to get a date, 90 date quicker, you should book a 90 date now. If you think your PT is expiring soon, you should book that PT exam right away. Because you know that from 1st of July, when all the states would reopen, they would start inviting people. There will be invitation rounds from federal government as well for 189 and 491 family sponsored. At that point, you shouldn't waste time at all in doing your skill assessments, in doing all this stuff. These things should be done from now till the time they reopen. So you do have a very time. Month of June is very crucial for a lot of people. A lot of people think that it's okay, we can do that later, etc. But um, do not leave it till the end. And then because when the state reopens, they always have a lot of you know they always have lot of nomination places available. And say for example, I just gave an example in regards to when people do forget to check their NATI dates, PT dates, skill assessment dates, etc., and then they end up can't use that assessment at all, or sorry, that EOI. And imagine, think of that, guys. You wake up next morning, you have a 189 invitation sitting in your in your inbox, and you can't apply for that visa. That's what you were waiting for such a long time. When you receive it and it's gone, you can't actually use it. So that's the thing. I don't want you guys to waste that time and effort that you have actually put towards getting your skill assessments and everything, get to the point, and then boom, it's all gone. You can't use it, and then you don't even know whether they're going to re-invite you in the next round or not, whether the next round is going to happen or not. So there were people, who got invitation last year July. So far, they haven't even received invitations yet because department didn't actually invite any engineers. So I don't want you guys to be in that situation. Say so. So that it is what it is. So let's. I think should we just take some questions as well?
Yes. We are
Okay.
also running out of time. So,
Oh
guys,
yes.
thank you so much for commenting today. Others, whoever you have questions, please comment down below, and then Saurabh will be more than happy to take your questions. So, without any delay, let's just get into it. First up, we have Naresh. Uh, he's asking, "Hi, Saurabh. I have production engineer assessment, and I've got 95 own points. Does getting skill assessment in industrial engineering help? Engineering technologist or industrial uh, engineering? Which assessment do you recommend as technologist is more competitive? Is going for additional assessment required in my case as migration levels have gone up for the next financial year?"
So he's got a production engineer, like, and industrial engineer is two, assessment that you should, you can look into. But you need to understand as well, your points for your employment. If you are claiming points, and if those points needs to be in the closely related occupation or in the nominated occupation, and if they are not too relevant to each other, then you can't just claim the employment points for either of them. Okay, so be very careful about that. And engineering technologists, I don't normally recommend getting that. Reason being is, every professional engineer out there, whoever has a 4 years of bachelor's degree, etc., can get engineering technologies assessment anyway. So a lot of people who already are mechanical engineers, electronics, electrical, etc., they always have engineering technologies too. Because Victoria previously used to have this pathway for engineering technologies, where you are an engineering technologist, you have studied from Victoria, just get us a job offer, and 190 is yours. That's how Victoria used to be. So be exactly so, but now that's not the case anymore. Engineering technologists, I won't recommend, but if you do have relevant experience in that engineering technologist pathway, because engineering technologist is a junior engineer, graduate engineer kind of a role, and it is considered as a jack of all trades as well. So it can fit into every particular occupation. Engineering technology is good for employer sponsored visas as well, but for general skill migration, I won't recommend that.
Hope that answers your question, Naresh. All the very best. Next, we have Katyayani. She's asking, there's a lot of delay with partner visas. It's been 7 months, hasn't moved after further assessment. All the documents have been front loaded and my police check is expiring. I am the sponsor, so do I need to get my police check done again, or the one that's there is valid?
Um, Partner visas, I would say that they are actually being quite quick. Recently in Australia, um, what I've seen is that all the cases that were lodged last year have already been granted. Even the one that we recently did early in January itself, that's automatically what that was granted last month itself. So they are quite quick. 3 to 4 months, 5 months max, and 6 months. But 7 months is okay. It's not a because the processing time is up to 2 years, and if they are being processing it in less than 12 months, I would be glad. And also just keep an eye out for all the your 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 police checks. They're valid for 12 months, and if they are expired, or if you think they're going to expire in next month or so, rather than you waiting for the department to tell you that, you should just get one yourself and then upload it so that your case can continue to proceed.
Hope that answers your question, Katyayani. All the very best. Next, we have Shahid. Sir, now new government has come. Any good news on immigration for offshore aspirants with low scores?
For offshores, certainly, and I would suggest them to wait until 1st of July. Wait until all the states do publish their requirements for state nomination for 190, 491, etc. And then we will certainly be able to know exactly what the requirements will be, and how it's going to impact the offshore people.
Yep. Thank you so much for commenting, Shahid. Next, we have Mohan. He's asking, hi, I want to know, with 75 points and currently working in related field from civil engineering, what are the chances for getting invitation for 491 Hunter Region NSW things?
Mohan, in the new financial year, that's exactly when we would know what the new requirements going to be, whether they would be keeping the same requirements, or they would add some work experience or even job offer requirements, etc. Because last year round was a little bit all over the place. It wasn't well managed though, because some people receive invitations from RDAs, even though there were no seats available. So that is the thing as well. So I would suggest you is that if you are still working in your field, continue to work in your field. Wait for until the end of this month, when the new financial year starts. States gonna reopen, they would start re-inviting people, and they would publish their new details about what the new requirements will be. And then you should also see whether you're actually eligible for 491 in Hunter region, if the requirements remain the same. Also seek alternate options if you are working in your field. See if you have enough experience. You can also look for employer sponsor options as well, as a civil engineer, etc.
Hope that answers your question, Mohan. Thank you so much for commenting today. Next, we have Santosh. He's asking, hi, Saurabh. Currently in Sydney, waiting for 190 software engineer since December 2021 at 95 points. What do you reckon for 2022 and 23 NSW 190? When will they edit the new rules? Any idea?
So they would be updating their requirements, in the next financial year that starts from 1st of July. Some states, I think that some states might not change their requirements. Like, say, for example, Western Australia have already published their occupation list and their requirements already. So, and that's how all the states do work. They follow each other. Now, Western Australia has provided because they know that WA is going to prioritize people who are already living in there. That means that
Yeah.
most of the people would try to relocate themselves to WA and start to look for a job, because when they do get an invitation, they have 28 days to get a job offer. So that might, that might push other states to also publish their requirements. They might also say that you need to be in our state to be eligible or working in your field. So that's exactly, it's going to be a very interesting game, very interesting competitive competition amongst all the states. And this kind of competition is actually something where the end users, the immigrants do actually get the most benefit out of, where they can actually be eligible for one particular state, and then they could also be eligible for a different state, etc.
Hope that answers your question, Santosh. Thank you so much for commenting today. Next, we have Amar. He's asking, due to pandemic, all the documents are going to expire. It's not problem of candidates who studied in Australia. It's a global issue. My question is, will they give extension on our documents?
Um, so if you have already applied for your visa, and then obviously, if there are some situation which is outside your control, such as getting some documentation or police clearances, some countries do take like 6 months or more to get a police clearance, and that is something that's outside your control. You can't actually do anything about it. So obviously, the department do provide you with extra time as well, and in some cases, if you are not able to obtain a particular document, you can also request a waiver as well in very minimum circumstances. So yeah, things can be done, and if you do, ask the right question.
Hope that answers your question, Amar. Thank you so much for commenting today. Next, we have Venkatesh. He's asking, hi, what are the chances for 491 visa with 75 points working as an electrical engineer in WA, General Stream 2?
Yeah, so that's very small occupation too. So 75 points for 491, because you're in WA, you could be, you could have a better opportunity in getting that 491 as well. But I would suggest is that, try to boost your score, your PT score, and and then you might be able to might be eligible for 190 itself, because 75 points for 491, that means you have 60 points of your own, 15 points of the state. And then if you do manage to get extra points yourself, up to 80, 85 points, you might be eligible for 189 or even 190. 189 is a really good subclass for electrical engineers. Actually, they do manage to get a lot of invitations if they are in that particular occupation.
Hope that answers your question, Venkatesh. All the very best. Next, we have Venkatesh Naidu. He is asking, hi, with 75 points, software developer, not working in my occupation, living in Melbourne and left with 1 year TR. Please suggest, do I need to move from Melbourne? Which state is better to get 190 or 491?
um, so software engineer, what you need to do, Venkatesh, is you need to see whether which state is actually have this occupation available. Western Australia have this occupation, but only for people who are actually graduated from Western Australia under a graduate occupation list. Other states sometimes, they require 3 years of work experience, such as New South Wales. You could also move, think about Canberra as well. Canberra is a very good place for a software developer. They do have this occupation available, and people do get invitations, at the start of the invitation rounds at a lower points as well, as long as you have enough Canberra matrix points. So yes, there are plenty of options available, Venkatesh. It's just you need to see what options you want to take.
So I would suggest, Venkatesh, you can directly get in touch with Saurabh's team and they would be able to guide you in which pathway you need to proceed. So that's better to take professional help that way. Yeah, thank you so much for commenting today. Next, we have Aditya. He's asking, hi, skill assessment, industrial engineer, 85 points, living in Victoria. What are the best options for 190 and 491?
Okay. Industrial engineer, if you're looking for um, you not if you're in Victoria, Aditya, you must also be employed in one of those target sectors as well, and then only you'll be eligible to apply for Victoria state nomination. And if you are not actually employed in your field, I would suggest you to relocate to a different state, or either look for employment in your own nominated occupation in Victoria. Then only you'll be eligible for Victoria state nomination, etc.
Hope that answers your question, Aditya. Thank you so much for commenting today. Next, we have Kumar. He's asking, hi, I have applied 482 visa in July 2021 as motor mechanic in Victoria and still waiting. Approximately how long is it gonna take?
Um, yes, currently the department is actually taking a little longer than usual for especially employer-sponsored visas. Um, the waiting time has actually gone up. But what I can see right now, Kumar, since the new government has come in place and the new minister has sworn in this morning, I have seen that the cases are currently being picked up. So obviously, wherever there is a change of government, there is always good news in terms of reducing the processing times. That means that the because the government department wants to show to the public as well that look how efficient we are in getting the work done. And what's the better work is than to get those visas processed quicker. So I would suggest, there will be some news coming through soon where the cases are actually currently being processed really quickly.
Hope that answers your question, Kumar. All the very best. Next, we have Prakash. He's asking, hi, Saurabh. This is Prakash. My student visa got rejected due to the reason of GTE. After that, I reapplied the visa process. How many days it will take time? Is there any chance to get the refuse visa soon? Currently, I'm offshore.
Um, so say for example, GTE grounds, genuine temporary entrant grounds are very common grounds for refusal as well. That's the reason why we always tell our clients, who are applying from offshore for their student visas, that they need to prepare a proper GT statements. If they are coming to work in a particular occupation, they should show some research that they have done. There's a lot of ways to overcome this GT criteria as well. And then yes, it is taking a little bit longer as well from offshore applications, but there is no set time frame. Maximum I would say it would take, if it can take up to 3 to 4 months as well, or it can be shorter period as well.
Hope that answers your question, Prakash. Thank you so much for commenting today. Next, we have Chetu. He's asking, what are the best options for system analyst at 85 points for 189 living in Melbourne? Does moving to Western Australia helps?
As I said, Western Australia has some occupations which are actually eligible, or some are not. So WASMOL occupation list, if you are actually not a graduate of Western Australia, then you can only eligible under WASMOL 1 and 2 list. But so system analyst is the kind of occupation is actually not available for WASMOL occupation list. It's only available for graduate occupation list. So you must have been graduated from Western Australia institution. For you, 85 points living in Melbourne, you must be working in your own nominated occupation. You could also seek for other states such as Canberra, where you don't actually have to work in your own nominated occupation, as long as you do have a higher metric score.
Right. Hope that answers your question, Chetu. Thank you so much for commenting tonight. Next up, we have Saifiran. He's asking any update on Victoria 190 and whether they're closed for this financial year.
Victoria hasn't actually provided any details whether they have already closed or whether they will be nominating people soon. We just have to wait and hear back from them. There are some pending applications. There are some, well, what I can see that they have actually invited a lot of people, and then they might have run out of all the nominated places for this financial year. However, the time will tell. We are still waiting to hear back from Victoria to provide us with more information, whether they are still inviting people or whether they have already ran out of the quota.
Right. Hope that answers your question, Saifiran. Thank you so much for commenting tonight. So, Saurabh, few of our followers had few doubts with regards to 408 visa. You said that there were a few grants this week from for
Mhm.
your clients as well. So, how many months is the grants for? Like, is it for 6 months?
Okay. So if yeah, so we got it for 1 year. It's for people who are actually working in the critical sector that's been deemed critical by the department. So if you are working in child care, disability sector, medical sector, hospitality, agriculture, so there are a few sectors that have been deemed critical, And if you are working in those sectors, you can get a 408 grant for up to 1 year. Those people we get the grants for, they already waited for almost 6 months. That means that they almost got a 1.5 year visa. So that is another advantage, that they actually managed to get it. So yes, people, if you are working in critical sector, you can get up to 1 year, and if you are working in a non-critical sector, you can get up to 6 months as well.
So is there any particular restrict on whether the applicant can change their job once they are in bridging of 408?
Bridging of 408 is a different scenario. All depends upon what visa you were on before applying for a 408 visa.
If they are
While
on
you are on, yeah, if they are on TR, obviously their bridging visa has full working rights. They can work wherever they want. But when they do get a 408 visa, they should work with their primary employer, but they can also work secondary job as well, as long as they do maintain the critical sector employer, the job, the job based on which they got the visa. As long as they do maintain that, they can have a secondary employment as well in some circumstances.
right. Okay. So I think we are up at the time, and that was a great session, Saurabh. Thank you so much for an elaborate PR pathway for different visa segments that we've gotten a lot of clarity tonight. Thank you so much for that. So, so you do think that the new government is in the favor of immigrants, right?
I would suggest, I would hope so. And Andrew Giles, who's the Minister for Immigration, he's always been a very open person when it comes to migration policies. So let's hope, he remains like that, and then see how
Fingers
the things
crossed.
would pan out.
Yeah. So thank you so much for the session tonight. Then thank you so much for being such amazing audience as well. If you have questions, don't forget that we'll be there here every Wednesday, same time between 8 and 8:45, and you can comment down your questions, and Saurabh will be more than happy to give answers to it. And then do not forget to register for Saurabh's seminar next Friday, that is on June 10th at Collins Street, Saurabh's office. There's a registration link available on the comment section in the description. Please go there and just click on it, and then it's for free. You can register yourself and attend the seminar and meet Saurabh face to face and try and ask your questions directly, and also maybe figure out a PR pathway, right?
Perfect. Yes, thanks.
So thank you so much, guys. See you next time on next Wednesday. Bye bye.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.